Third phase moon, Blake Cousins, we have some coordinates that we're going to, along with a UFO video, but we're going to get to it right now. We have Dr. J. Andy Elias with us as well, and what we're looking at is a rectangular entrance to Antarctic. Well, that's what some people are speculating right now. We don't know exactly what it is, but we came across these coordinates today via UFO Mania. I guess he was surfing the Google Earth and came across this. Right now, I think this is the first time that our YouTube Third Phase of Moon people are watching it right now. I want to get your guys' opinion. What are we looking at here? Is this an entrance to Hollow Earth, possibly? I want to get Dr. J's opinion.
Absolutely, Blake. I think this goes back to what Admiral Byrd did following World War II when he was supposedly chasing what he thought were Nazis down to Antarctica. But when he got there, he actually saw flying saucers going in and out through an entrance and destroyed a lot of his armada when he came back to the States. So I think this very well be, like you said, an entrance to the Hollow Earth where you could find extraterrestrials and their technology.
Yeah, we're looking at this, and definitely it does seem that there's some suspicion behind it. The geometry, the way this thing is built, it looks like it could be an entry for some kind of aircraft, militarized tanks, or what have you, but we're doing a measurement here, so it's not that wide, but wide enough to get something in. What's your thoughts on this? I know you work in aviation. Do you think you could fly an airplane through this?
Yeah, that is a small target to hit when you're coming in from something so large, but if you're coming in with power, if you're looking at things like Bob Lazar described when he was at S4 and he worked on one of the specific saucers that he labeled the sports model, that would fit in there. That would require some precision flying, but a lot of those craft, if they are in fact anti-gravity.
Well, look at this
right there.
It's interesting. We just pulled this up. We're going back in time on Google Earth, and now it reveals like it's some kind of cavern that's collapsed, a cave, an entrance, something natural in my opinion. So maybe it was reverse engineered. Engineers use geographical topography to build things. Maybe this is the case here, an entrance.
That does look like it, exactly. And this picture from the modern, as opposed to the past, like you said, it looks like a collapsed cavern. But the rectangle of the modern time looks too straight to be something done by nature. This current shot, the modern right now, as opposed to the past. Like you said, the past looked like it could be a natural cavern, but right now it looks like actual engineers created it to be precise. God doesn't create in straight lines.
Well, that's interesting you bring that up, because now we're going to Denona National Park, and some people are stating that this could be the secret that everybody's been wondering about. Where is Atlantis? So we looked this up, and we were coming across these marshes along the landscape, and they appear to be circular objects, circular patterns, rings within rings, just like Plato said. And like you were saying just earlier, it's very hard to create a perfect geometry in regards to a 360 circle here. And you notice all the rings within the marshes there. What do you make of this, Dr. J?
This is very, very stunning footage. And just going back to what I was just saying with that Antarctica, that God doesn't create in straight lines. Same thing with circles here. If there's, just like you said what Plato said, with the rings within the rings, I've seen lots of things on this earth, different areas that they suspected to be the lost city of Atlantis. But this topography here, these circles, these rings within the rings in the marsh, is some of the best footage I've actually seen for people laying that claim that this could be the lost city of Atlantis.
Well, it definitely does make one wonder, because there's a lot of speculators out there where they say this is Atlantis, but when you look at this 3D image right here, it definitely gives out the detail of the rings within rings. This almost looks like it's a tool part, but this thing's massive. It definitely, it's crazy.
This actually, Shutlik, is my actual favorite one from this video because of, like you said, first of all, look at the top ring, and then right below it you see another ring. It almost looks like a mold for one of the flying saucers on top of this tower. This is very, very accurate to be something that natural. It almost looks like it's artificial.
Well, that's what we're thinking. When we're looking at these rings along the surface and embedded in the marshland, it is a natural reserve, so they're basically keeping it off limits for any kind of development. And I could see why. This thing is amazing, and it looks like a deluge. If you could imagine that what was the demise of Atlantis was a great deluge, and it looks like it's been wiped out by the ocean. It's so close off the coast of Spain here.
Yeah, and have you figured out how many feet, how high some of this goes, or is this directly under the ocean? Because some of the people that talked about the lost city of Atlantis said it sort of sunk, like the whole city was sunk. And again, if this is something you're able to see in aerial view, that just fits perfectly with what they've been saying.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to do some more updates on this, but now we got this video coming up. It's a UFO video submitted via our Facebook earlier today. There's not much information behind it, but we know it was captured in the United States, and right now we're trying to enhance the video, see exactly what this thing's all about, but I don't think it's a drone. And from what we could hear on the ground, it's dead silent. There's no noise whatsoever, except you could hear the man or woman capturing this, and you can see these reflections of light that just pop in and out of this thing. It's very stable in the air. You can tell it's not much of a windy day, but this thing stays basically stationary. It's not a balloon, in my opinion. What's your thoughts on this one?
It's ironic you said it's not a balloon blade, because I feel the same thing too. The shape is too rigid and secure. If this was a balloon in the wind, it would change shape. Also, as you're talking about those lights popping on, the way things is rotating, and those lights are on that one surface as opposed to the other side. And again, without having any natural sounds of a whirring of a helicopter or anything like that, you wonder, how is this thing actually flying? And it's very consistent with what people have talked about in the past as extraterrestrial drones that come out of flying saucers, or this might actually have one of those AI drones, those ETA drones, that it's got its own little mind and doing whatever research they want it to.
Well, we got Brent Cousins here, and I want to get his thoughts as well. Yeah, this close-up look at that, it almost seems iridescent. You almost could see through it, in a fact that I never seen drones where they're basically a solid structure. This thing, it almost seems like you can see through it. It's translucent. Yeah, that's what I was saying, and it almost seems like it shape shifts at moments. But right now, this is about as close to the object as we get right now as I'm looking at it. It seems right near the end, it just starts to speed up, and we're about to lose track of whatever he captured. But I'm sure glad whatever was captured, we got it right here for you, right here at Third Phase Moon. We're going to replay the video again, and we notice the background clouds. It gives some kind of basically reference to size and proportion. If it was shot up against a blue sky, you would have some hard time to deal with the shape and size of it. But thanks to the contrast of the clouds, we could see that the shape definitely does look translucent, Brent. John?
You know, a few years ago, you actually released a video of how to capture best UFO footage, and that was one of the things you did say, is make sure you have a reference point. So if it would have been a blue sky, grab the corner of a building or something, but the fact that you can see the clouds behind this is also what is making it that much better as opposed to a blue sky. But my favorite about this video is when it takes off, because nothing in our armory, in our skies that we create, can go this slow and then all of a sudden just start to speed up. Unfortunately, with our physics, you have to have speed in order to stay, unless you have something like a helicopter, which is sucking it off the ground. Here, you have this really slow object, and then just like it's done with its research, whatever it's going to move on to next, it literally picks up speed. And if it's going close to the sound barrier after it's out of the range, well, no one's heard a sound boom either.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have to say that flight characteristics on this thing is absolutely amazing. It seems that it's defying gravity. It's lighter than air. You don't see any kind of propeller blades, and if it was a balloon, it would be tumbling in and out. This thing is very stationary. So again, I'm wondering exactly what it is. We're going to let everybody at Third Phase of Moon leave their opinions below. We sure like to hear them. Dr. J, thanks for joining us right here. Appreciate everything. And take a look at his channel. It's called Dr. J Radio Live. He's got an incredible radio show with incredible guests. Dr. J, you be safe, man.
Absolutely. You too, Blake and Brent. And we'll see each other soon.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys next time.